The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women, featuring in-depth interviews with today's most inspiring women. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Phenomenal Women.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We are back, ready to inspire you today. I'm your host, Ashida Onrae. With me, I have my co-host, Tara Johnson.
Hello.
Oh, happy Friday to you.
Same to you. Happy Friday to you.
I am so ready to get into our phenomenal women of the week. I'm inspired to get into these phenomenal stories.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And let's do it.
Yeah, I think I would describe this week as kind of maybe our power players,
yes.
I would think. And so one of the number one power players on television, if you don't know her name, it'd be really difficult for you to believe that you don't know her name. Miss Shonda Rhimes is coming out with her own memoir in November. And it's called Year of Yes. And this has a really interesting story. So back in 2013, Shonda Rhimes calls herself an introvert. So she took on a challenge for the year of 2014 to basically accept and say yes to any opportunity that was given to her. Anything and everything.
I love it.
And she said, originally, I was not going to share this information at all. I mean, it was like a personal transformation that happened. But of course, when, the money called, she took it.
Yeah.
Simon & Schuster called her and said, we'll give you a book deal if you produce this book, make this book. She said yes. And so we will get her book in November 15. Right now, no details have come out to what she's going to share or even what adventures that she took. She said some of them were challenging, some of them were wildly embarrassing. But either way, she said yes to everything, and it has changed her life. Can you imagine saying yes to everything that comes your way?
Well, yes. There's some few things I can think of I can say yes to. Yes, baby, yes.
I'm talking G things.
Yeah,
and PG.
G things? I like that. What kind of G things?
She's coming out with that
things
book.
or G-spot things?
PG things. Okay, that's a little different.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
She's coming out with that book in November. I don't think they've done pre-orders or anything yet, but look out for it because I'm sure it'll come out sooner rather than later. And we wanted to bring back a story that came out in late May. We thought it was important enough to bring back again. So Forbes came out with its list of the 100 most powerful women. And so we wanted to talk about it because this list has come out this is the 12th list that's come out.
Right.
And people really pay a lot of attention to this. And Forbes spends a lot of time on this. They're known for their top 100 whatever list.
Right.
So we wanted to talk about what they do is they find 300 women, and from those 300 women, they basically take it down and base things on 4 different matrix: on money, media presence, your sphere of influence, and your impact. And out of the 100 women that they chose, 11 of them were African American. And we wanted to bring this to attention because so many times on a daily basis in the media, we hear nothing great about what African American women are doing, what we're capable of doing, what we have in our minds and our hearts in order to change the world. And this list highlights, not everything,
right,
but at least it recognizes 11 out of 100 women. And some people will say 11% isn't that much, but think about how far we've come and think about next year. On this year's list, there were 19 newcomers. Just imagine how many additional African American women we can have on the list next year. So number 1 is the German chancellor, and number 2 is Hillary Clinton, our presidential candidate. Hint, hint. That's why I'll be voting for, but whatever. I want to get into that.
Right. But she's been tripping lately.
Well, even the Clintons have their moments.
Right.
But we wanted to highlight some other people on the list. So Ashida, who is on the list?
So I have, of course, we all know the Queen, Oprah Winfrey, who landed at number 12. And we love her because she reinvented herself. She went from daytime to owning her own network, literally owning her own network.
Yes.
And that's what I love about her, and that's what makes me love this job so much, because I understand the road that I'm taking, and I can look up to someone and say, I'm on my way.
Right.
You know, and I'm just so proud of her. And not only is she the queen of daytime, right? So she has her own network. She's also an actress.
Right.
You know, she's done several movies, and, you know, just recently The Butler and
Selma.
And I just love the fact that we can be so diversified to the point where it's like, okay, I have my hand in this, but I have my hand in this, and I have my hand in this, and I'm great at all of it.
Right.
And we're offering jobs to everyone, because I went to her studio. I went to her studio, and the studio, when I walked in, let me just share with you, when you walk into the OWN Network studio, it is one of the most inspiring, inspirational places, and you feel it as soon as you walk in. There's these big, beautiful flowers in OWN, and you just walk around and you're just looking, and you're just like, I can do it all. That's what you feel like when you walk in. I mean, literally, you walk into the studio and you just feel like you can do it all. You're looking at, you know, from the assistants to the managers to the lawyers to everyone that's working there. You just feel this sense of that I can just do it no matter what it is. Right. And I love that about her. And next on the list, and I'm so proud of her, because I remember from the very beginning when she came out, and I'm like, you know what? She's gonna be somebody,
She gonna be somebody.
And she started off as Destiny's Child, but again, ladies, reinvention. I can't stress that enough about how you can reinvent yourself. Yes, she started off in a group, but then she took the time to say, you know what? I'm afraid. I acknowledge my fear, but I'm gonna step out on my own, and then look at what she's become. Beyonce knows. Yes. So here's the thing. The highest ranked entertainer on this year's Power Woman list. Beyonce also took the top spot on last year's Celeb 100 list after earning big from her Mrs. Carter World Tour and the surprise release of her self-titled album. Over the past 12 months, she has picked up right where she left off last summer on the Run Tour. And the couple grossed $100 million. But here's the kicker. She has personally pulled in more than $500 million.
That's a lot of zeros. That's a lot of zeros.
Yes, $500 million personally, not with Jay-Z, personally. And I'm just saying, of course, with her tour, her endorsements or whatever. But like I said, you sit there and you say, okay, I'm a singer, but I'm also an actress. I'm also a producer, and you're able to do everything. And then people say, yes, you know what, she has she has everyone around her to help her. But if we take time to go back from the very beginning of her career, she built it. She took brick by brick and she built it. And that's what it's all about. Just like Oprah built it, just like Beyonce, and here we are, you and I, we're building the exact same thing.
And the thing I will say about her earnings is that she and Jay-Z are ranked on Forbes' most powerful couple list, number 1 and number 2. But when you break it down, I don't know if Jay-Z wants everyone to know this, but Beyonce actually brings in some years much more than he does. So sometimes they're 50-50.
Right.
Last year, she actually brought home more money than him.
Probably because of the Mrs. Carter World Tour,
No?
I
mean, that's probably it, but
But most artists make their money on
touring.
tours. Yeah,
absolutely.
On tours. But I just love it. I love talking about this. It motivates me like nothing else, because when I get home and I'm like, okay, I need to do this, this, and that, then I know she's doing the same exact thing.
And has been doing it since the age of 9.
Right.
And what I like about these two ladies and all these ladies that we talk about is the fact that there's so many negative images of women who look like us in the media today.
Yes.
That Oprah has dedicated a network to positivity and inspiration and encouragement and helping you be a better person.
Right.
And Beyonce, you can say what you want about some of her music. That's fine. She's growing up. She's a mother. She's a wife. She can express whatever she wants to. But the one thing you can't say about her is that she is a negative reflection on women of color. That you cannot say.
Right.
And so these two women, where they are in this list, I mean, they're number 21 and 12 on this list. But for us, I mean, they're some of the biggest icons for positivity of Black women. And that's what I love about them too.
Absolutely. And I encourage I truly do encourage you to go to Forbes.com and just read, and you would just feel the boost of energy within your spirit to figure out what it is you want to do, and not only figure it out, but go out and do it.
That's true.
You know?
And read the comments as to what they have to say about all the ladies, the top 100 ladies. But just like you're reading the comments there, we want to read your comments of what you think about us too.
Absolutely.
So if you could hop over to podcast1.com, not now, but once this is over, and take a short 3-minute survey to let us know how you really feel about the show. We would truly appreciate it. We love your tweets. We love your comments. We read all of them too.
Absolutely.
We just want more of an interaction with you so we can truly understand how you feel about us, so we can make the show even better.
Absolutely.
And speaking about comments, there's a woman who gets probably notorious comments every single day and more attention than she ever imagined. Number 10 on the Forbes Top 100 Most Powerful Women's list is First Lady Michelle Obama, as beautiful as she is. And we're talking about a woman who holds her man down. I mean, she has helped President Obama become who he is, but in her own right. She is a woman who can stand on her own 2 feet. She has an excellent education. She is poised and classy. She's come out with her Get Move campaign to help childhood obesity. I mean, this woman is a powerhouse on their own. They are such a power couple, but she will admit, my husband, whoever he would have been president, because that's the kind of woman she is.
Amen. Now that's some sexy shit right there. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Coach, but that's just sexy. No matter who my husband would have been, right?
He was going to be president. That's a bold statement. That's a bold
I love
statement. But there's some other women besides women in entertainment who we should note who are on this list. And number 92 is Dr. Risa J. Lazio Murray. Now, you may not know her name, but you probably know her foundation. She is the president and CEO of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. If you're not familiar with that, the Johnson comes from the Johnson & Johnson products. And when Robert Wood Johnson died in 1968, he took 10 million shares of his company in order to create this foundation. This foundation is the largest philanthropic organization dedicated to health and health care. I don't know what those 10 million shares were worth back in 1968, but right now, this foundation commands $9.2 billion, and they give grants every year in the range of $400 million, and Dr. Murray's at the head of that. And some of their most notable causes are childhood obesity. Since 2007, they've dedicated $500 million to fighting childhood obesity. They also want to make sure, just like President Obama, that everyone has adequate health care, and she's at the helm of that. But what's impressive about her is not just her position. Not only does she have an MD, she also has an MBA. And she went to Wharton Business School. So she's intelligent, she's beautiful, she's holding it down, she's boss.
And she's black.
And she's black.
Amen.
And she's black. And the highest ranked female.
Beautiful, boss.
She's beautiful, boss, beautiful. Beautiful, boss,
and black.
And black. There we go. The 3 B's.
Right.
I'm going to get a t-shirt. I'm beautiful, I'm boss, I'm black. There you go. And the highest ranked woman on the list that's not affiliated with entertainment is Ursula Burns. And you might have heard of her, but I'm not sure. But she serves as the chairwoman and CEO of Xerox. And she is the first African-American woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Now, she is a product of, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end up. Because this was a woman who was raised by a single mother in the projects of Brooklyn. And her mom told her in the beginning, don't listen to anything anyone tells you, because people said to her, you have 3 strikes against you, Ursula. You're black, you're a woman, and you're poor. And her mom said, the devil is a lie. I'm going to do everything I can education-wise and make sure you get the best education possible. She took her money and she put her daughter through Catholic school in order to give her the best start. Ursula went on and she started at Xerox. Xerox has been the company she's worked at only, but she started as a summer intern. All the young people out there and even older people, take those summer internships seriously, because you never know where you can end up.
Absolutely.
And during her career, she was actually the executive assistant to the chief executive at one point and a couple of high-ranking executives. So it also shows that sometimes you may take positions where you don't think they're worthy of you at the time, but hang in there because you just never know where you will end up. Ursula Burns is the first African-American CEO woman, the CEO, female CEO of a Fortune 500 company. That's where you can end up. And she's number 29.
I love it. I'm sitting here reading about her. This past year, Burns helped Xerox generate adjusted earnings per share of $1.09 up from $1.02 in 2012 and post $21.4 billion in full year revenue.
Yeah, that's a lot of zeros too.
That's just in a year.
That's in a year.
That's in 1 year. Yeah.
And she did write a pretty controversial article in 2013. She put it up on Huffington Post if you want to take a look at it, where she said her secret to some of her success is marrying a man 20 years her senior. And her thinking behind that is, I married someone 20 years my senior, so when I was starting to really get busy in my career, he was ready to retire and he was willing to take the time and be with the kids so I could pursue my career. So she said, ladies,
that's an interesting strategy. That's a whole nother conversation, right?
It's a whole nother conversation. So that 20-year-old man you see in the club in the corner, well, maybe not him, but the other 20-year-old man, because he worked at Xerox too.
Right.
The older gentleman who's maybe asked you out for coffee or offer to take you to lunch and you said no, you might want to think about him again. But she said that's the secret to her success. There's no way she could do what she's doing if she didn't have a husband who was, one, older, and two, who was willing to take care of the kids.
So he was older, already went through his career.
Yep.
And he was just ready to take a back seat in a sense.
Yep.
And say, you know what, you do you and I'll do me at the house.
That's it. And also because he was retiring, they had somewhat of a little nest egg already. So It wasn't such a financial pressure on her, but she was able to stay and travel and do the late meetings and the early, everything you need to do in order to be successful. She said that's the key to some of her success.
I like that strategy.
It's an interesting...
Because most people use nannies. So you have both parents who are out in the workforce, working, grinding, hustling, building their platform. But you have the father at home because most men have an issue taking that role.
That's true.
And they feel as if their power has been taken from them in a sense where they're not the man. But in actuality, you are. It's just different.
It's very, very different.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that you have an older gentleman of his generation, because 20 years, would be, I don't know, he could probably be 70 something now. So to have a gentleman of an older generation who's willing to, like you said, to kind of take that back seat, even though staying home with the kids can be one of the most difficult positions you could ever take on, is an interesting dynamic also. So you have to find someone who's, like you said, willing to take on that ultimate huge task of being there when the mom can't. It's an interesting perspective. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Absolutely.
I thought it was a really interesting article.
That is. That's a very, very interesting perspective. Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear.
I love to hear all of your comments about that.
We got to talk more about that.
We always, when it comes to relationships, we always do.
Yes.
So now I'm going to turn to my phenomenal women of the week. So we were talking about you never know where you will end up. And so I've always been taught, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Where my two phenomenal women of the week, Ashley Hicks and Toni Carey, who are the co-founders of Black Girls Run, said we're not going to be a part of the problem. We're going to be part of solution. We've heard it from medical reports far and wide who have said that African-American women are some of the women who up to 80% of us are obese. You can argue, what are your metrics and how are you making that statement? But either way, that's a pretty hefty number. Both of these ladies were runners themselves and decided they were going to do something in order to get Black girls running. So they put together, they don't want to call it a running group, they fostered a community where they get African-American women moving and feeling healthy. So it's gone from the two of them using word of mouth. Now they have a website with a full community of not just events that you hold with running. They also they foster conversations as well as hope, you can buy some swag. They're saying that if you have run a 5K and haven't seen someone with a Black Girls Run t-shirt, then something's wrong. I think I'm going to get one because they are majorly cute. Check it out. But it has grown to a community of 160,000 women. They have running clubs in every major city across the country. And if you are in a city where they do not have a club, they're always looking for ambassadors in particular cities all the time. So check out their website. But the two of them are my phenomenal women of the week. And Wednesday was National Running Day, and they have forged a challenge. They have the National Running Black Girls Run virtual 5K. So they are challenging all women of color out there, wherever you are, to run a 5K between Wednesday and the 7th. And report it on their website. So ladies, get to running.
I love that campaign.
Love that campaign.
So my phenomenal woman of the week is, and I'm all about reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you excited about life. That keeps you excited about opportunities. And actually, I want to read something because she is very dead on about reinventing yourself. And I am talking about my girl, Brandy Norwood, who I've been following for years as a fan.
Who hasn't been following Brandy?
Yes.
Moesha and everything.
Yes. Yeah. So she is now on Broadway doing her thing. And I remember I went to watch the play, and the play is Chicago. And it was with Michelle from Destiny's Child.
Yeah, okay.
She's playing Roxy. And so I saw Michelle, and she did an amazing job. So now I got to go back and watch my girl Brandy and look at those fabulous arms. She has amazing arms.
She looks fantastic.
So she did an interview, and she talked about how this opportunity came about because, she's a singer and she's an actress. And then all of a sudden, now she's on Broadway. So she spoke about it. And she said, I started to be more focused, disciplined, and changed my lifestyle. I started with meditation and working out and really getting my mind and my body and my spirit ready for something big. But she didn't know what it was. She was already preparing for it, but didn't know what it was. I just kept saying, you gotta stay ready. Stay ready because something's coming. I was just affirming that and affirming. Okay, I'm reading someone's writing, so that's not right. So basically, Chicago presented itself. And so she was like, whoa, that's what I've been preparing for.
Yeah, that's big.
That's huge. And so now she's doing a fabulous job. And we have, some video here with her doing her rehearsals we'll like to show you. But she is now Roxy on Chicago.
Look at those arms.
The name on everybody's lips is gonna be Roxy. The lady raking in the chips is
I love how it's Brandy.
Yeah.
Well, I love how it's Roxy with Brandy flavor.
Yes.
Like you can, she's still putting her twist on all the songs with her unique voice and styling, and the way she does her runs and that type of thing. So it's very Roxy, Brandy Roxy-ish.
Right.
Like she's doing it.
Yes.
She's commanding the role.
Lord have mercy. From just some dumb mechanics.
I think I'm going to send her a tweet like, what do you do with your arms? For those arms?
That's
she has
what I'm saying.
Amazing arms.
Well, it's a lot of that meditation and everything she was saying. So she was, I'm sure, given the article that you read, she was ready when she walked on stage day one. That's what she looked like. And they were like, we found our woman. Like, we found the person who's right for this part at this time. I'm really proud of her because she's gone through so much and had so many ups and downs in her career. And to be at her age, she started doing this at a really young age. And like you said, to continue to reinvent yourself, to still continue to be relevant, but relevant in a positive way. We've seen a lot of different people who've taken some really dangerous routes in order to stay in the media's eye. But she's always taken a very classy route. And it may sometimes take longer to get where you want to go. But if but focus and preparation always pays off. Look at her.
Yes. That's all I can say. Because I just, and see, that's the thing about, when people fall into this trap and they're like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's like and we always look at the celebrities and we always feel like we can't attain that level.
Right.
And you know what? I can totally understand that because you put them so high on a pedestal, but then you have to look at it and go, they have to work just as hard, if not harder, because they're in the public eye.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they have to work even harder to stay relevant, as opposed to us, we're very private.
Right.
So no one's looking at us. But if you pay attention and look at each celebrity different and see the moves that they make to get from point A to point B to point C and therefore and keep going, you can see that they make adjustments along the way.
Absolutely.
And the person that is the queen of adjustments, started in 1980, is Madonna.
Absolutely.
And she's still, it is 2015, and she's still relevant to this day.
And she continues to reinvent herself. I don't know. She's like a cat with like 9 lives. I can't believe she always has something to come out and say. And your girl Janet's coming back.
I was just getting ready to talk about,
of reinvention also. So I cannot wait till she comes back and see what she reinvents herself as.
Yep. And that's the thing. So sometimes if you take a step out of looking at them as the celebrities, they have it all, they have the team, just look at the fact that, because at the end of the day, no matter how much of a team you have with you, it still falls on you.
It does. And
because
the hard work.
take direction from you, so they have to say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. And it still bears their name. So if it doesn't work, or if it does work, they take the hit. The publicist doesn't take the hit.
Right,
the assistants don't take the hit. No one takes the hit but you. So at the end of the day, just take your time out to look at them and say, hey, they had the courage to reinvent themselves. What can I do to reinvent myself?
Absolutely. And what can you do? I mean, it takes hard work. There's no way of getting around and cutting corners. And I know today we see so many people who we think become instant stars and celebrities, but the people who are here and have really real staying power, like so many of the ladies we talked about today, have been in the game for a really long time, and they're working just as hard now as they did day one.
Absolutely.
It's about hard work and consistency.
You know what? It sure is.
Yep.
And on that note, I think we did an amazing show.
Well, there you go. I think we did an amazing show, too.
Yes, we did.
Yay.
We are phenomenal women. Okay, now, here's the thing, right? Thank you so much. So, what would be your ultimate goal to see yourself one day?
Well, I will tell you, I invite everyone to take a look at wordswinewomen.com, because I have accomplished one of my goals, released a new women's talk show. So take a look online, wordswinewomen.com. That was one of my goals for this year. It's up. I hope you enjoy it. Comment and let me know.
Also, Words, Wine, and Women is on Twitter.
It's on Twitter.
Facebook.
It's on Facebook. It's on
Instagram.
Anywhere you want to find it, put in Words, Wine, Women and look for this face and you'll see us.
I love it. And where can they find Tara?
They can find me at wordswinewomen.com, of course, but you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail.
And I'm Ashida Onrae, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ashida Onrae. We look forward to inspiring you next week.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.